I'm Josh Light with PoliticIt.com. I'm here with Jason Kendall in Florida. How you doing today, Jason?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Jason, tell us the big difference between you and your competitor in this race.
Well, my competitor, by age alone, doesn't quite understand that there's this great technology out there that's going to transform the American political system, and I do. And I see how it's going to benefit everybody because it's really going to cut special interest money. And the need to have million-dollar campaigns, our campaign contributions are going to be a thing of the past, because the ability to communicate to a large group of people that you used to not be able to touch is now so relatively inexpensive that it levels the playing field, where it's going to be more based upon your talent and your ability and your honesty as a statesman or a politician than just who you know and how much money you can raise.
When you're talking to people on social networks, when you're out knocking on the doors, what kind of fiscal issues are people in Florida concerned about?
Well, like everyone else, people need jobs. Everyone's broke. You know, the last decade, the median income family has lost 40% of their wealth, their value in their house, their 401ks, their stocks, everything. Meanwhile, Congress, in the last 5 years, their wealth has increased by 28%. And they feel that. And they feel also it was the largest transfer of wealth from one class to another. It was about $7 trillion. It was the largest transfer from in the history of civilization from one class to the next. And your middle class is feeling that, and there's no security anymore. And they're afraid. You know, I've knocked on doors of people that have been unemployed for 2 or 3 years. And then I'll go and I'll knock on a door, and it'll be a college student who just graduated, who has $34,000 worth of debt, and they can't even work at Starbucks.
So how do we fix this unemployment rate here in Florida?
Well, the problem with the country now, it's not so much that there's not jobs that are there, because they're there. It's not because we don't have the money or the investment, because it's there. It's lack of faith in the system. And the whole American dream has been popped. And if you hear constantly that things are only going to get worse and there's no way out of it, well, that's how everyone's going to think. So what we need is a good, healthy political win for the middle class. And you need to start once we can kind of get these people out of office and you can build a little faith back into the communities and as a nation as a whole, I think you're going to see things start happening again. The next part of that is that you have to vote on a healthy tax plan. I'm for Simpson-Bowles. It's a bipartisan tax plan. Makes sense. If we don't do anything about the debt, and by 2020, we're going to be paying $1 trillion a year on our interest alone. So without any stability, and then without a plan, businesses can't hire because they don't know what they're going to be paying in taxes from one year to the next, so they're not going to invest anything at all. So that's why I think this election is very, very important, because you got to have a good win for the people, and then you got to come up with a good tax plan, which I think Simpson-Bowles, and get that passed, and then I think naturally things will start progressing again.
And what social issues are Florida people concerned about?
Well, there's always, so for me personally, the social issues is that in my district, 1/4 of the kids are homeless. We had a 60 Minutes special that was done twice about Seminole County, and there's 1/4 of the young people are either living in cars or they're living in hotel rooms or what be it, and that needs to be solved. Socialism-wise on abortion or gay marriage, these are things that I think some people want to deal with, but what's the point of attacking those issues when you have people living in poverty? We have 100 million people in this country that are poor. It's 1 in 3. It's not 1 in 7. Those are the honest numbers, and that's what we need to start attacking. These social issues, I think, will fix themselves if you create a healthier, more stable society.
How are you using social media in your campaign?
It's 90% of my campaign. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's every outlet that I can get on and put my name on, I do, and to attract people, because as I tell people, I said, it doesn't matter what people say any longer, it's how they run their campaign. And I really believe we're on the cusp of an American Renaissance. This technology we have is on the same level of a printing press, which brought about the European Renaissance, and it put a Bible in everyone's hand, and it created this amazing society, got rid of the monarch. We're at that same level, at that same point in time. So I think if we can just kind of bust through this and take our society up to the next level and allow this technology to be properly integrated into society, you're going to see a whole new America that's going to be an amazing place to live, and with tons of jobs and a good arts and a good culture, and it's going to revolutionize education. You know, digital books, digital blackboards. It's going to level the playing field for education. It's going to do great things for business. It's going to make it a more efficient business sector, and it's going to bring a more transparent Congress and government around.
And what are people saying online?
Well, for the most part, a lot of people, you know, they take their points to hate. There's a lot of hate, you know, I hate this, I hate that, you're wrong, da da da. But for the most part, people that, especially younger people that are on there, they love being able to be interactive and have a voice. And this gives them a place to have a voice. And that's why I think young people are going to start voting more, because now you're talking to them on their level. And if they only realize that they really controlled society, they would vote a lot more. You know, when a 5-year-old can work an iPad better than a 50-year-old, you tell me who's in control of our society. And the fact remains is, on average, this is the oldest Congress that we've ever had in the history of the country. So we have this amazing technology that can really transform society, and we have a bunch of people in Congress that don't even comprehend the society. So how are you going to make just good law if you fail to comprehend the major technology that's dictating the society? You can't. And I think that's where you see such a failure of our congressional leaders now.
How has your experience prepared you for Congress?
Well, I've had a few experiences. When I was 20, I withdrew from college and I moved to Los Angeles. I've lived in Miami. I've lived in New York. I've traveled a lot. I have a master's degree in U.S. foreign policy and diplomacy. I've started a couple small businesses, but most specifically, I started a business in social media. I worked with a small group of kids, and we would go and help small businesses utilize Facebook and Twitter to help grow their business, make better contacts with their customers, and lower their advertising rates. So I saw the potential in it, and I just said, you know, why wouldn't this work in politics? And it is going to work in politics. You know.
And which social network do you like the most?
Oh, it's a hard one to say, but I think, in all honesty, I think Facebook is the public square. You know, I think the ability to advertise on it, the ability to communicate on it. You know, the fastest growing demographic on Facebook are women above the age of 40. 1 in 4 seniors are on there. And just the ability to get your name out and to communicate on that level and to talk, you know, put videos up or whatever, you raise money, whatever you're going to do. That's the one that I think has the most potential for this.
How's your campaign going?
It's going very well, thank you. I was able to beat my primary opponent, 61 to 39. I got about 39%. I got about 4,000 or 5,000 more votes than he did, and I spent 1/10 of the money. He spent over $30,000. I spent $4,000. And I was good with my money. I was efficient with it, and I did old traditional. Now, you just can't sit around on your computer and think you're going to win a congressional seat. You still have to do stump speeches. You still have to do door-to-door. But that's what I like. You know, that's the good heart and soul of politics, is getting out there and meeting people, coffee shops, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't have to spend $250,000 on television commercials anymore.
How's fundraising going?
It's good. Well, that could probably be a little better on my book, but that's going to come around because again, I'm going for smaller donations, and all I really need with a campaign strategy like this is about between $30,000 to $50,000 to be competitive. If I have more than that, that would be great. But you know, my whole thing is, it's pointless to go up there and say you're going to change things when you're taking money from people who are ruining the system with their special interest in case street lawyers. You got to find another way. And once people learn that and see the potential in it, smaller donations keep coming in and keep coming in, keep coming in, and that's all that I need.
And where can people go to learn more about you?
Well, you can just Google Kendall for Congress. It pops right up, but it's jhk2012.com. I'm also on Facebook, so I need likes. Same thing, just Kendall for Congress, and that would really help me out.
Well, thanks for meeting with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it greatly.